growing up, you were always a creative person?
Totally. Yeah. I was always like, it's interesting because I went to school for graphic design and then filled in with interior design courses thereafter.
Okay.
And growing up as a kid, I was like that kid who like wedged themselves between like the armoire and the wall, like just to move every day. My whole room was changed around, furniture, different spots. And from an art standpoint, I definitely, always loved art, and my family's very artistic. So it's just kind of a gene.
Going to school, what was the dream? Like, where was it interior design, or did you have a different path?
That's interesting. So I always loved both, and I really had a hard time. Ended up going to Delphi, but they didn't have an interior design program. It was kind of like, I was kind of forced to choose, right? And back, 15 years ago, there wasn't that opportunity. There weren't courses where you can take interiors and graphic design. It was one or the other. Mm-hmm. So my first job in college rather, was at Winthrop Hospital, and I was doing interiors for them ultimately as like an intern, and then got hired as like their interior design specialist. But it was everything I did, I tried to incorporate graphics every step of the way. Oh gosh, every step of the way. So that's really our business is just built out of necessity, and like where we saw gaps and how we can incorporate our skill set into creating more dynamic spaces.
And it's funny because like the graphic side, which you guys do, right? You guys have that whole print arm, and you guys do all the graphics and the installations of them, and that can transform a space on its own. Like you could have a very bare space, and now all of a sudden you bring that graphic element into it, and it's literally marrying the two together, right? Yes. Like you're designing these graphics, and with those graphics completely transforming the space into like this colorful, vibrant area. So like you were able to marry those two together pretty well.
Yeah. And also, when we had started the company, it was 2008, it was the middle of a recession. And interiors really got slow for us, right? Because no one was spending millions of dollars to redo their, big offices and whatnot. So it really catapulted the signage and graphic design business, because everybody who wasn't looking to do that but still needed a refresh, bringing in the graphics, bringing in the artwork was a perfect way to elevate their space without, spending, $1 million. So it ended up working out really well. And I think we'll see actually a pivot back to that now.
Yeah, you think people are going to kind of move over to, we won't redo the whole area, but as we kind of social distance ourselves, rearrange things, maybe we just do a lot of the graphic end.
Exactly. There'll be a lot of reappropriation of space, how they're using space, and then the graphics to kind of, bring it and freshen it up.
What's your favorite project you've ever done? And we're not trying to call out your favorite customer because we don't want to insult anybody, but absolutely. What's like when you were done, you were just like, oh my God, like I'm so proud of this one.
So Dealertrack was probably that was definitely our largest project, but what was great about it is it really had all the components to it, where we had the interior design, which was our initial, but then we designed all the graphics and all the wayfinding.
And that's a big space, right?
Oh, it's 235,000 square feet. New build, and the space was specifically for one tenant. So, and it was the longest project of our lives as well. It was a 4-year project. And, it gave us all the feels because we were able to really just do everything we were good at.
A lot of passion goes into a project like that. That's exciting. It's big. It's new. There's a lot of components to it. It's a long time, so you work really hard at it.
Absolutely.
And then when you're done, you look back and you say,
yes,
wow, that was it.
And even though it was our largest project, and I wouldn't say that's the project that we're looking to go after either. Like I'd much rather do that on a smaller scale for companies who are looking to, have multiple locations or to grow out that way and create standards. We do that for like our physical therapy client. We do a lot of their branding standards and their interior standards, so they can just open up one space after the other, and we can manage that whole design process for them.